Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you today? How are you doing? What are you doing? I'm giving you the 3-4-1. I'm just like head and shoulders. So I'm filming my weekly vlog and I just finished reading House of Hollow, and I had wanted to read that book for the longest time, like I think even months, and I got it for the last book haul that I did, and I really wanted to read it as soon as possible, so I did. I started reading Never Fall for Your Fiance. You will see it in the blog. This weekly vlog is not going to be so much of me explaining and reviewing the books, but just me doing what I do every single week or different things. So I wanted to do a different video for this review. I was reading Never Fall for Your Fiance and I got kind of bored with the book, so I just decided to take like a break. I don't want to DNF that book, but I wanted a break for like a day or two to read another book that I don't know, made me more invested in the book. So yeah, like I said, I finished reading House of Hollow, and that book, it's so good that it deserves so many compliments. So let's start with the plot, or not so much the plot, but everything that encompasses the story. House of Hollow is about Iris Hollow and her two older sisters. They go missing one day. It's like the weirdest thing ever. The kidnapping, they're supposed to be kidnapped. They were walking in the street at midnight in Scotland, a really old street with their parents, the three girls, and the two parents. They start looking for their girls, and the girls never appear. After a month, the girls reappear naked without any scratches or damage done to their skin or to their bodies, with no sign of either violence or sexual assault. It is the weirdest thing ever. The weirdest thing of all is that none of them remember everything, or none of them are supposed to remember anything. So the three of them, the three girls, they do not remember anything. Another thing that is weird about the kidnapping / disappearing of these girls is that when they come back 1 month later, the father is saying that they are not the same girls that disappeared because their eyes are different, and also the teeth are different. Also, after a couple of weeks, their hair, which is black in the beginning, starts to grow white. Also, the story starts telling you that the father killed himself, and the whole family, the Hollow family, they have like this whole sad story going on. The two older girls, they went away. They don't live with the mother anymore, and the one that is still with the mother is Iris. Iris is the one that is telling the story and that is explaining to you everything that is happening in the book. I really liked the Iris's point of view because I feel like she's the best to tell this story. She doesn't remember anything about what happened. She has like small flashes of the past, but she doesn't remember anything, which makes it more suspenseful. Yeah, so the older sister is Grey Hollow, and she's a model. She's really famous. She's an influencer as well. She has a lot of followers on Instagram, Facebook actually. The other one is Viv, and she is kind of like the crazy one, the one that is more wild. She's into drugs and alcohol and a lot of tattoos, which I don't know what has to do one thing with the other, but well, that's how she's described in the book. And Iris is the little sister, and she is kind of like the perfect daughter to Kate. That is another thing that is weird in the book, is that when they mention the mom asked them to call her Kate, not mom. But well, I'm not going to tell you anything else about the story because then I would be telling you everything. But well, the drama in the actual book starts when, after 10 years after the kidnapping and the reappearance of the girls, and after the father died, after the two older daughters went away and now it's only Iris living with the mother, there is something weird going on. It's like things from the past are coming back, and especially one man, one very strange man, is following Iris around, and also Gray, which is the older sister, goes missing. So that is what the story tells you in the beginning. After that, if I tell you more, I would be telling you the actual story and spoiling everything, so I don't want to do that. So let's review. The plot in reality is very intriguing. Once you start getting a lot of information about the past, it starts getting more and more intriguing, more suspenseful, and you do not want to stop reading. I started reading like the first 10 pages and I wasn't that interested, but after those 10 pages, like the beginning, you know that sometimes in a book it can get kind of stale, but after those 10 pages I was invested into the book. I wanted to read and read and read, and I read it in just one day, which is amazing. It's, if you're looking for something mysterious and suspenseful and like a thriller, it's not like a slasher. It's because I just told you that someone is following Iris around and Grace goes missing. It's nothing like a slasher, but has that sense of suspensefulness when it comes to, is he following me, he's going to kill me, is he in the shadows, is that assassin or person who comes to murder me around here, am I safe the whole time? But it's not a slasher book. Also, there are many aspects of the book that I love. One of the things that I love the most is how it uses the beauty of flowers to explain how even if a flower is very beautiful, it can be rotten or dark or have something or be something bad. Also, talking a little bit more about the beauty of things, I really enjoyed how the book extended this idea of how women are portrayed in society, and also the relationship between the environment and society with women. Their relationship is well shown in here. Iris and her sisters are supposed to be really, really beautiful. They're like something out of a fairy tale, and there are a lot of situations where they feel uncomfortable, of course, and the three sisters are ways in which women now use their sexuality or their beauty to go through society. This is very much a fairy tale, a very dark fairy tale, and I love all of the information that they give you. I looked at some of the things that I was reading. It talks to you about stairs in the middle of the forest that lead nowhere, and doors that go to another place that used to lead somewhere but now lead to somewhere else, and everything was so enchanting that I had to look it up. And yes, there have been sightings of stairs that lead nowhere. People have talked about how they are supposed to lead to heaven or to another place between the worlds. Also about how they're just buildings that were there and now they're not, so it's nothing that special. But if you read the book and you really do the research, you're going to feel really creeped out. The characters are very well developed, and one of the things that I really enjoyed is that you never knew who was the good person and who was the bad person, and even the bad and the good person, they had like different colors. The way that the story is written makes you think about who's the good person, who's a bad person, and if that bad person really bad or was just like situations, and is that bad person really bad or is that person good? I don't know. It also creeps you out in a sense that you know what's going to happen, or at least you have a bare idea of what's going to happen or what is going on. You have like the knowledge in the back of your head, but you're like, no, that's too creepy, that's too horrific to actually be the truth, and you still know it. Like, there is always something going on in your brain that's telling you, because the writing is so good. I love the writing style. It's really easy to read, and everything is explained. Sometimes you will read like a word that you would not understand on the context that is being used, but the author will explain everything to you. You don't actually have to need either a dictionary or a Google everything to know what it means, because it is going to be explained to you. I liked the usage of letters. The book has a lot of letters and notes that people were supposedly writing at some moment, and also text messages, but not that much. And the author doesn't use any either slang or bad words. I felt awfully during the whole last chapter, because I think the last 2 or 3 chapters, because that's where the theme or the story gets really creepy and bad, and at every turn you can find something new that is going to creep you out. I read this book. I finished reading this book yesterday at night, and I dreamt with this book, with this story, and I was taking a bath this morning, and I was feeling like creepy, and I'm afraid, like, every sudden sound or noise, I'm not okay. I don't feel like I'm okay, and it's not the fact that it's really scary, like they're not ghosts or anything like that. It's just that what happened, the idea of what happened is so creepy that and so horrible that I feel like I have things walking on my skin. Is so weird. In the book, one of the things that I like is that there are flowers and insects growing and walking in everything that has blood, especially if it's dead. From, like, there is a flower that is called carrion flower. Is white, is beautiful, but smells really bad to get flies to feed up them, and then I guess that's it. That's everything that the book says. It's supposed to be a flower that doesn't actually exist, but I'm not sure. And if you cut yourself, and I don't want to think about it anymore because it's really creepy. The story is really creepy. It's really well done. I really like the writing style. The plot is amazing. Even though I had that basic knowledge in the back of my head, I didn't actually believe that someone would write something so horrible. And it is not about how horrible it was because it was scary. It was how horrible it was in a humane level, like a human person or a creature would do something so gross. And I just have one more thing to say about the characters. I liked all of them, and again, all of them were neither good or bad. They had their intentions and they had the reasons to do the stuff or the things that they did. There is someone who I really feel bad about, and that's Taylor. He was a great character, supporting character. He was nice. Well, he wasn't that nice in the beginning, but after that he was nice. He really showed that he loved Gray. He was the older sister's love interest, and he was such a nice person. He deserved better. One of the things that I did not enjoy but did enjoy also is that the book doesn't end in a definite note. It ends in like a suspenseful sentence, like they're going to do something and they get to the place where they're going to do it, but there is no the book doesn't tell you if they actually did it or not, so I don't know if there's supposed to be like a second part to this book. It doesn't have a sequel or anything like that yet, so I don't know if in the future maybe like the author left the door open for that to happen. Ugh. Door open. Be very careful with the doors. The other thing is that the scariest things about this book are things that you can find everywhere, and that makes you feel so unsafe. There is, of course, let me tell you one part that I have to talk about. There is a little bit of sexual assault or almost sexual assault harassment in the book, so if you feel triggered by those things, please do not read this book or be aware of what you're going to find. There is a very horrific act of violence at the end, or almost at the end, so, and through the book also, but the most horrific one happens at the end. So if you get triggered by those things, just don't read this book because it's going to mess you up. I feel like I need a recess from mysteries, thrillers, scary horror books for at least 2 days. I'm going to be reading something, I guess, super either funny or rom-com-y, because I need that space. That's how good this book is. I would give it a 10 out of 10, absolutely, but I'm not going to because I never do. I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's really good, but I do believe that there is something missing. I don't know what, I don't know how to explain it. The book left me satisfied in some ways, but it didn't in others. There are so many questions that the book didn't answer. I cannot tell you the questions because then I'm going to tell you what the book is about, not what it is about, but the story. So yeah, but there are some questions that it never got answered, and I was so uncomfortable. That is so unsatisfying. Like, if you're going to explain by the end what happened, please explain it completely. So yeah, I do recommend this book if you like horror or mystery, or I don't know. There is an act of cruelty, and the saddest thing is that you will be reading about children, which in my mind makes it so much worse. So much worse, because children almost always, they're innocent. So I don't know, it makes it 100% worse when you read about cruelty to children, and there is. This book is going to mess with your mind when it comes to abusive parents, and there are things that seem to be one way but they're not, or they actually are, and no one is going to help you. You're going to find enablers. You're going to see things that you as a woman can feel in society every single day. That's why I tell you that even if it's a horror book or a paranormal supernatural book, you can see the basics of, I think, women existing in a place where they don't feel safe, so they have to become this kind of monster to actually survive. I said too much. That's it. I said too much. So if you like to be creeped out, if you like to read dark fairy tales, if you like to not know what happens but you really know in the back of your mind, if you want to read about strange things happening to strange people that are what they seem but are not really, it's too complicated, and I cannot give you any more information because then I'm going to tell you what actually happens, and I do not want that. So that was everything. I hope you liked the review. I'm really scared today. I feel like I don't want it to be night. I was going to film this book yesterday night when I finished reading the book, and I decided not to because I couldn't be in my office alone, because I felt like people were watching me and ants were walking all over me. So no, I just couldn't. I had to wait until morning when the sun is out, and I know that no monster, I shouldn't say that because there are monsters walking around in the day. I'm really scared right now. So yeah, that's everything. See you in the next one. See you in the weekly vlog, or maybe the book shopping video. I'm editing the two right now, so see you soon.